The LIV Golf rumour mill rumbles on. Is Viktor Hovland going to LIV Golf? And this is a rumour that's come from LIV Golf themselves. So I'm recording this on the 25th of October 2024. So this news is literally hot off the press in the last few hours, where the LIV Golf podcast Fairway to Heaven have confirmed, well, pretty much confirmed, that the Cleeks GC team is getting a full rebrand for the 2025 season, and that rebrand is going to have a Scandinavian feel to it. And then they went that little bit further to suggest that Viktor Hovland could be moving to that team. Now, I have to say that they do say in this podcast that they have no real knowledge of this happening, and they do mention Ludvig Åberg in this equation as well, but they don't sort of mention Ludvig in the same way that they do mention Viktor. So let's just rewind there straight away to this rebrand of Cleeks GC. So I do think that when LIV Golf was launched, they had a number of team names that were absolutely dreadful. And I still think that Cleeks is one of those names. Another one, for example, was the Nibliks. I think they got rebranded eventually as the Range Goats, which was a much better name. And to be fair to them, their logo and their branding, they did a really good job of that. And I think the Cleeks have definitely got the opportunity to become a much better name with a much better brand. But for the LIV Golf podcast themselves to actually confirm that is pretty much confirmed that is happening, and it's going to have a Scandinavian feel to it, why would they do that? They would only do that if they know there are some Scandinavian players or a Scandinavian player coming to that team. And would you do that just for an also-ran Scandinavian player, or would you only do that because you know you've got a major name coming to LIV Golf? That is the question. How could this work? Well, at the moment, Cleeks GC have got Martin Keimer as the captain, Richard Bland as their strongest player, and Adrian Meronk came into the team this year, and Kalle Samuja lost his place on LIV Golf. So there is a place available in the Cleeks GC team. So that could actually just mean that if what they are saying is true, and that Viktor Hovland is moving across to LIV and this new rebranded Cleeks Scandinavian branded team, then Viktor could go straight into that team. There is a place there available now. But also, Richard Bland and Adrian Meronk could be traded to other teams within LIV Golf, which would then open up the possibility to bring in 3 Scandinavian players into that team. And then it truly would have a Scandinavian feel for this new Scandinavian branded team. Please get in the comments and let me know, firstly, do you think there is a chance that Viktor Hovland could be going to LIV Golf? Now, I have always thought that the international players are far more open to joining LIV Golf and playing golf around the world than the US players tend to be. Now, that's quite simple because, the international players have to usually travel and go away from home to play on the PGA Tour. So they're still going to have to travel and go away from home to go and play around the world on LIV Golf. The American players, on the other hand, they can play in America, and a lot of times they can go home, quite a lot during their season. So I totally understand that. But, Phil Mickelson went, Dustin Johnson went. They were in the first sort of draft of American players. Then Patrick Reed went. Then Bryson went. And then Brooks Koepka went. But since then, there really hasn't been another major US player that has made the move across to LIV Golf. So I do think that someone like Viktor Hovland, especially seeing quite a few of his Ryder Cup teammates now already over on LIV, people like John Rahm and Tyrrell Hatton, I think that there is more chance of a Viktor Hovland moving to LIV than there is possibly of a Xander Schauffele, for instance, even though Xander has been, rumoured to be going to LIV quite a lot in the past as well. I just think that if you are going to rebrand that team with a Scandinavian feel, you would only do that for a very good reason, and that would be that you've got a major Scandinavian player coming over to play on that team, And for me, there's only two major Scandinavian players that fill those boots, and it's Viktor Hovland and Ludvig Aberg. And I honestly think that there's a lot more chance of Viktor going to LIV Golf than there is of Ludvig. Please get in the comments, let me know whether you think that Viktor Hovland could be going to LIV Golf, and also can you think of any other Scandinavian players that could also be going across to become a part of this Scandinavian team. It's all very interesting. Like I say, this is something that's come from the LIV Golf podcast themselves. So yes, it is a rumour, but it's not a malicious rumour that's come from some obscure website way off in the distance that really doesn't have any sort of credence. This came from LIV Golf themselves. Are they just putting some rumours out there to just keep LIV Golf in the news while there's no events going on? Quite possibly. Or is there actually more to this? And this could mean that there's going to be a rebranded team and a major Scandinavian player playing on LIV Golf in 2025. Get in the comments. I can't wait to hear what you think, and I'll see you in the next podcast.